The distress beacon pulsed through subspace like a dying heartbeat. Commander Zelthix of the Galactic Preservation Council clutched the armrest of his command chair as another explosion rocked the station. Through the viewport, he could see the Krathix warships circling like predators, their weapons charging for another devastating volley. How long until the Fourth Fleet arrives? Zelthix asked, his auxiliary breathing tubes fluttering with anxiety. His communications officer, a young Plenari named Voss, worked frantically at her console. Sir, the Fourth Fleet reports they're still 3 cycles away. They won't make it in time. Another blast tore through the station's outer hull. Warning klaxons wailed as atmosphere vented into space. Zelthix watched helplessly as escape pods launched from the civilian sectors, tiny specks of hope fleeing into the void. Many wouldn't make it past the Krathix blockade. The Preservation Council had maintained peace in this sector for 700 standard years. They were diplomats, scientists, and philosophers, not warriors. Their defenses were designed to deter, not to fight. And now the Krathix Collective, hungry for resources and territory, had come to tear it all down. Sir, Voss's voice cracked with surprise. We're receiving a transmission. It's not the Fourth Fleet. Who then? Zelthix demanded. They identify themselves as the Terran Expeditionary Force Third Fleet. They're offering assistance. A cold sensation rippled through Zelthix's body. Terrans, the Deathworlders. He'd heard the rumors, of course, every civilized species had. They came from a nightmare planet called Earth, a world of constant danger where everything from the weather to the wildlife could kill you. A heavy-gravity death trap that had forged its inhabitants into something unnatural. The Galactic Council had granted them provisional membership only a decade ago, more out of fear than friendship. They were unpredictable, aggressive, and disturbingly comfortable with violence. How far are they? Zelthix asked. They're already here, sir. Dropping out of FTL now. The view screen flickered to life, showing a formation of ships unlike anything in the Council's sleek, elegant fleets. The human vessels were angular and brutal, covered in armor plating and bristling with weapons. They looked less like exploratory craft and more like flying fortresses designed for one purpose: war. The lead ship, a massive dreadnought bearing the name Tufts Indomitable, positioned itself between the station and the Krathix fleet. A human face appeared on the communication screen, a woman with short dark hair and eyes that seemed to assess everything in a single glance. This is Admiral Chen of the Terran United Forces. We received your distress call. Sit tight, Commander Zelthix. We've got this. Admiral, you don't understand, Zelthix protested. The Krathix fleet outnumbers you 3-1. Their ships are about to have a very bad day, Admiral Chen interrupted. Chen out. The human fleet moved with a precision that belied their ship's aggressive design. They didn't form the standard defensive sphere that Council doctrine recommended. Instead, they split into attack formations, accelerating directly toward the Krathix vessels at speeds that made Zelthix's stomach turn. They're insane, Voss whispered. They'll be torn apart. But the Terrans didn't slow down. As the Krathix opened fire, the human ships executed maneuvers that should have been impossible. Spinning, diving, rolling through space like atmospheric fighters. Their pilots seemed to dance with death itself, avoiding plasma bursts by margins so thin that Zelthix couldn't bear to watch. Then the humans returned fire. The difference was immediate and terrifying. Council weapons were designed to disable, to minimize casualties even in conflict. Human weapons were designed to destroy. Railguns fired slugs at relativistic speeds, tearing through Krathix shields like paper. Missiles with frighteningly advanced AI tracking systems found their marks with ruthless efficiency. And then there were the kinetic batteries. Simple chunks of dense metal accelerated to devastating velocities. A Krathix cruiser exploded in a brilliant flash. Then another. By the Founders, Zelthix breathed. The Krathix fleet, which had been so confident moments before, began to falter. They tried to regroup, to use their superior numbers, but the humans seemed to anticipate every move. It was as if they'd been born for this, forged in the crucible of their deadly world to excel at the one thing the peaceful species of the galaxy had hoped to leave behind. War. Within minutes, half the Krathix fleet was destroyed or fleeing. The remaining ships attempted to withdraw, but the humans pursued relentlessly. Admiral Chen's voice came through the comm again. Krathix vessels, you have one chance to surrender. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. This is your only warning. The Krathix commander must have recognized the futility of continued resistance. One by one, the enemy ships went dark, their weapon systems shutting down. Admiral Chen appeared on Zelthix's screen once more, this time with something that might have been a smile. Station secure, Commander. We'll maintain position until your 4th Fleet arrives. Our medical teams are ready to assist with casualties, and our engineers can help with emergency repairs. Zelthix found his voice after a moment of stunned silence. Admiral Chen, you saved us. I don't know how to thank you. No thanks necessary, Chen replied. We heard someone calling for help. That's what neighbors do, isn't it? Besides, humanity has a saying, nobody messes with our friends. As repair crews began their work and the immediate danger passed, Zelthix realized something profound. The galaxy had feared the humans, had kept them at arm's length because they came from a world of violence and death. But perhaps that was exactly why they were needed. In a universe that sometimes demanded strength, it was good to have Deathworlders on your side. The distress beacon finally went silent, replaced by the steady pulse of the all-clear signal. And somewhere in the depths of space, word began to spread throughout the galaxy. Humanity had answered the call. The Deathworlders had arrived, and everything had changed.